no one saw it ending like this.
It's an unbelievable day for everybody with a soul. Bonnie Blue has finally been arrested, and this time it's not a stunt.
Controversial content creator Bonnie Blue has been detained by police in Bali over alleged pornographic activities.
A group of Australian men has been dragged before Bali immigration officers. They're under investigation after being arrested alongside adult content creator Bonnie Blue.
For months, Bonnie Blue had been moving through life as if she were bulletproof, drifting from country to country, stunt to stunt, leaving behind a trail of chaos that somehow only made her more famous. Every time the internet thought, this has to be the last straw, Bonnie found a way to push the line a little further, and then further again, and then so far past the line that the line didn't even exist anymore. But yesterday, everything snapped. It didn't happen because she made a dramatic announcement. It wasn't a documentary calling her out. It wasn't a shock value headline she orchestrated herself. It happened when two stern Indonesian officers appeared in the doorway of her Bali villa, and Bonnie, the woman who acted untouchable, suddenly looked like she understood one thing. There was no performance that could save her now. Police lights cut through the tropical night, cold and unforgiving. Cameras flashed from the shadows. Someone called her name. And Bonnie, who built an entire persona on shameless confidence, shrank beneath the weight of reality. Her shoulders tightened. Her voice disappeared. Every part of her froze as she was escorted past people filming her like they were witnessing a meteor crash. In that moment, she wasn't Bonnie Blue, not the bang bus ringmaster, not the girl who once smirked into a camera promising, "Barely legals, I'm coming for you." She was just a foreigner being arrested in a country whose laws didn't care about her online persona. And for the first time, she looked like she realized she wasn't invincible. Social media exploded, not because people didn't expect Bonnie to face consequences someday, but because they didn't expect it now, at the height of her global tour. After she'd somehow slipped past punishment for everything else. People joked she was immortal, that she had plot armor, that she was the final boss of bad decisions and nothing could kill her storyline. But Bali was different. Bali was a place where her entire livelihood became illegal the moment she stepped off the plane, and she either didn't know or didn't care. She arrived with the same energy she had in the UK and Australia, filming with strangers, teasing upcoming meetings, hinting at the content she was there to make. She laughed, she glowed, she bragged about the bang bus being shipped internationally, she hyped up the barely legal schoolies she planned to meet. To Bonnie, Bali was just another stop on her world tour of chaos. To Indonesian authorities, she was a walking violation. So when police entered her villa, they didn't just find her, they found everything that completed the picture. The equipment, the themed outfits, the props, the materials she'd used earlier that day.
Many of those men were seen leaving the police station, covering their faces, but also filming as well. A 28-year-old Australian man remains in custody, along with two British men and Bonnie Blue.
All of it laid out in plain sight. Undeniable evidence of the career she'd built. A career that in Bali can get you arrested on the spot. And that's exactly what happened. Her bang bus, the centerpiece of her recent fame, didn't escape suspicion either. Authorities reportedly flagged inconsistencies between its registration and its appearance. After everything the internet joked about that van, the disgust, the memes, the disbelief, it might actually be one of the things that leads to additional charges. Several men were detained with her. They covered their faces as cameras appeared, desperate not to be tied to the Bonnie Blue operation. Most were released quickly. Bonnie wasn't. Her manager, or at least the person helping her coordinate everything, remained detained beside her. And suddenly the empire she built on shock value collided with a legal system that doesn't negotiate with influencers. But the truth is, Bonnie's downfall didn't start in Bali. It started months earlier, when her fame became less about content and more about spectacle. An escalating parade of extreme stunts designed to outdo the last one. It stretched back through her freshers tours, her dramatic university walkthroughs, the endless lines of young men waiting in hotel hallways, her relentless claims about barely legals, her obsession with innocence, something she emphasized on camera more times than anyone could count. People were horrified, fascinated, disgusted, entertained, all at once, and that's what made Bonnie a phenomenon. She became a figure the internet couldn't stop watching even when they wanted to bleach their minds afterward. Her content didn't go viral because it was seductive. It went viral because it was shocking. She tapped into a part of the internet's brain that freezes when something feels wrong. A feeling you can't scroll past even if you want to. That became her brand. And for a while it worked flawlessly. She flew across the UK in that van, popping up unannounced at universities, always sparking huge crowds. Teenagers scrambled for selfies and videos to send to their friends. Chaos followed her everywhere. And chaos attracts attention. And attention is currency. Her fame wasn't built on beauty or talent or storytelling. It was built on being a spectacle, on making people unsure whether to laugh or gag. Her stardom ballooned until she seemed unstoppable. She survived backlash, criticism, bans, outrage, even being kicked out of Australia, and she still rose higher. Every time someone said this has gone too far, Bonnie pushed further, until she entered a country where pushing boundaries wasn't entertainment, it was a crime. Back in Bali, as news of her arrest spread, the reactions online felt heavier than anything she'd faced before. This wasn't like her 1,000-man stunt or the Freshers' backlash. This time, it wasn't performative drama. People felt fear, genuine fear, mixed with shock and disbelief that a storyline everyone treated like fiction had suddenly become painfully real. Some saw it as karma. Others worried for her safety, knowing Indonesian prisons are no joke. Some couldn't tell whether they were allowed to laugh at the irony. Some felt unsettled by how satisfying it seemed. But beneath all the noise, one question echoed across the internet. How did she not see this coming? Bonnie didn't just flirt with danger, she built a relationship with it. She let it move into her life, unpack its bags, settle into her brand, and then she invited it on tour. Every warning became a challenge. Every backlash became proof she was winning. Every red flag became content. But laws aren't fans. They don't care about views or persona or what someone labels as content creation. And when she crossed the wrong border with the wrong attitude, reality finally stepped in. The most shocking part of Bonnie's downfall isn't the arrest itself. It's that so many people genuinely believed she'd never face consequences at all. She had grown larger than her own humanity. She became a character, a meme, a chaotic symbol of how far the internet's obsession with extremity had gone. People forgot she was real. Maybe she forgot too. Because the Bonnie Blue who walked into Bali was the character, fearless, shameless, unstoppable, convinced that controversy was a superpower and consequences were optional. But the Bonnie Blue who walked out of that villa in handcuffs, that was Tia, a girl from Derbyshire who built a character so big it eventually swallowed her whole. And now she's alone in a country where her brand of chaos carries punishments that don't disappear when the camera turns off. There's no audience cheering, no adrenaline fueling her next move, no storyline she can twist to her advantage, only silence. The internet is waiting for her next chapter, but this time, the story isn't hers to write. It belongs to the courts, the law, the system she believed she could outrun. The girl who turned her entire life into content has finally met something she can't monetize. And whether this is the end of Bonnie Blue, the rebirth of Bonnie Blue, or the darkest chapter yet, one thing is undeniable. Her downfall is here. And this time, it isn't a stunt. It's real.